I am very passionate about helping women with invisible illnesses realize that you can still lead a pretty healthy and active lifestyle. The time's going to pass anyway. What the hell else are you going to do? Sit there and feel sorry for yourself? It's not a winning strategy. I've tried that. Anyway, we're going to talk about this tonight because I forgot my own advice. Actually, it's not my advice. This comes from tinybuddha.com. But it's really funny to me. I used to be I used to be a really negative person. I was the hell you looking at kind of girl. And now I'm known as somebody with a really good attitude and who's super positive. And I got to tell you, it took a lot of work to get there. Um, but truthfully, it's because of my health issues. I realized that I was going to have to change and that being negative has a very significant physical impact on me. And so why give into that and make myself feel worse? That's just silly. It's not easy to be positive all the time. It's certainly not easy to be positive all the time in the face of, well, frankly, pretty serious medical challenges. But I make the effort. It matters. It matters to me anyway. Living with chronic pain it's consuming. It really is. Even as positive as I am about it, this crap can overwhelm me. And I'll be real honest, the last couple of weeks have been, God, it's been longer than that. It's just not, I haven't been having a good time in a while. But you know what? No matter how bad things are, we have to find the beauty in life. And there is beauty in almost everything. Just not always easy to find it. So, how do you be more positive? Number one, you have to believe that it's a choice because you know what? For the vast majority of us, it is. Now, there are people who are clinically depressed, who have a very serious medical condition. Those are not the people I'm talking about. But for most of us, certainly myself, it's lazy thinking. It truly is. Look, I can't control what goes on. I can't control what's going on in the world at large. I can't control other people's behavior. But you know what I can learn? I can learn. I'm still struggling with this. I can learn how I choose to respond. Nobody can make us angry without our permission. They just can't. That being said, I lose my temper fairly easily, but it is a choice. And I don't give a damn if you're the richest person on the planet or the poorest. We all have the same choice every morning. We can wake up and choose to focus on the good things in our lives and be happy, or you can choose to focus on the negative and just stomp around and be Debbie Downer all day. And guess what? Nobody wants to hang out with you when you act like that. They just don't. Nobody wants to be around someone who's always, oh, poor me, my life sucks. Well, you know what? Everybody's life sucks to a degree. Even the person that you're sitting there thinking their life is perfect, I guarantee you there's a lot of things that are going on behind closed doors that you have no idea about. You need to learn to focus on the positive. You need to choose to be grateful. A good example, if you follow me on Twitter, you'll know I am very devoted to my fitness. Now, that sounds really funny, doesn't it? The girl with all the health problems, super into fitness, but I am. Now, I cannot do all the things that I would like to do. I cannot do the things that I feel I should be able to do. But I don't focus on that because that's a losing proposition. What I do focus on is how much I love what I do. I dance, I belly dance. I freaking love it. It makes my soul happy. So instead of, oh, boohoo, I wish I could do this and that, I turn on one of my choreographies and I'm happy. I'm grateful. My heart literally, I can feel the weight lifting off my burdens ease. They may not ease all day, but at least for that window of time, I'm happy. Does that mean my pain's gone away? Absolutely not. It's not that magical, but I enjoy it enough. I'm able to put that in the back of my head and I choose. I choose every day, no matter how crappy I'm feeling, I choose to be active. Step 2, you need to eliminate negativity. especially if it's other people. A really simple litmus test for other people, if they don't lift you up, bye. You don't have time for that crap. You do not have the energy for that. You might think you do, but why? Why are you letting, you know what I mean? Those people are total energy vampires. All they do is bleed you dry. They just suck the life out of you. Don't waste your time on people like that. Holy moly, it's hot in here. My fan's too far away. Ha ha, dag nabbit. Today's my birthday, so I'm wearing the tiara. But I am a woman of a certain age, so I'm still a hot babe. It just comes in flashes. Ha ha ha. But if it's somebody in your life that you can't avoid, and that happens, maybe it's a family member, maybe it's a coworker you can't avoid. It's up to you to set boundaries. It's up to you to figure out how to work with them. You need to look at your own behavior. My girlfriend Jennifer and I really miss her. I need to get in touch with her. But anyway, we used to message each other a lot on I don't remember the name of the app, but we would leave each other these lengthy voice messages. And we're both pretty positive people. And Jennifer pointed out one day, you know what? This has turned into nothing more than a bitch fest. So we made a rule. You could bitch as much as you wanted. And I think the audio cut off after like 5 minutes. And you could bitch if it took you 5 or 6 different audios to get it out, that's fine. But we had to end it with 3 things that we were grateful for. And it really started turning our conversations around. There was a woman I used to work with who was, she was exceedingly difficult. She was very nitpicky, and she worked in a different building. I had to deal with her. There was no way around it. I had to deal with this woman. And one day I was walking from my building to the building where she was at with paperwork in my hand. And I caught myself on the way over there. Oh my gosh. And she's going to nitpick me, and she's going to do this, and she's going to do that. And she's just awful. And I was like, whoa, she has way too much power over my life. So I turned that all around. And so I told myself the rest of the way over there, she has an eye for detail that I don't. And I'm grateful for that. Now, does that mean that our relationship was magic after that? Absolutely not. I still don't care for her. I still avoided her as much as possible. But I made the choice, instead of working myself up about how she was going to nitpick me. Okay, you know what? She has an incredible eye for detail. It made it a lot easier for me to deal with her. Step number 3, you got to look for the positive. Most situations are going to have a silver lining. You need to step back. It's an emotion. It's not a physical step. It's an emotional step back. You've got to step back, and you've got to assess the situation, and you've got to do it from the perspective of, what's my benefit here? What can I learn here? Worst case scenario, absolute worst case scenario, whatever the situation is, it's a learning experience. Find your lesson. When it comes to looking for the positive, one of the best examples I like to give, when my aunt passed away several years ago. Wasn't expecting that. Was the biggest loss I'd faced at that point in my life. She was one of my best friends. She was one of my closest confidants. And my sister-in-law, my sister-in-law and my brother have been married for, I don't know, ages. She's been in my life since I was in high school. And we've always been pretty close. But you know what? That experience, as horrible as it was, and it was heartbreaking. If you've never had to clean out somebody's belongings after they've passed, I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be a lot harder emotionally than you think it is. But in the midst of all that, you know what happened? My relationship with my sister-in-law took a depth that I would have never imagined. I mean, we were really close. But when you go through something like that with someone, it does change things. Another positive that came out of it, my cousin, he doesn't live here. I had met his wife, but I'd never really spent any time with her. Well, when they came up after my aunt passed, I got to spend time with her. And you know what? She's an amazing lady. And I'm, as much as it sucked, and of course, I'd rather have my aunt back, but that's not an option. So instead of focusing the whole time on how crappy it was that we lost my aunt, I chose to focus on the deepening of the relationship with my sister-in-law, the blessing of getting to know my cousin's wife better. It's up to you, Look, I could have taken all this pain and used it, all my medical crap, and used it as an excuse to become even more bitter and nasty and angry. But what the hell is that going to do? It doesn't solve any of my problems. In my experience, giving into those impulses, that negativity, it just makes it worse. I've chosen to become a more positive person. I've chosen to learn. It's not natural to me. I've chosen to learn to look on the bright side, to find the lesson, to find the silver lining. Step number 4, you need to reinforce your own positivity. You don't have to like everything about yourself, but don't dwell on your shortcomings. Focus on your good quality. When I first started doing this kind of stuff, I was so hard on myself. I'm still very hard on myself. If you know me very well, you know that. But I was so hard on myself at one point that I could not come up with any positive qualities about myself. Isn't that sad? But if you're there, guess what? You've got people who love you. Ask them. They'll tell you. And you know what? They sound cheesy and we all like to laugh at them, but affirmations work. They have been around for a long damn time because they work. It's a simple, effective way to boost yourself up. Don't sit there and tear yourself down. Tell yourself what I do when I catch myself going down that rabbit trail and you're this and you're that and you're horrible and you suck and you're sick because you deserve it, which is so absurd. But when you start down that rabbit trail, you know how easy it just explodes out of control. I stop and I tell myself, you know what? I don't have to be perfect. I'm a gosh damned amazing person. I'm kind. I'm loving. I think I'm generous with my time, with my heart. I'm a good person. And I focus on that stuff. Tell yourself, instead of telling yourself that you suck, tell yourself that, you know what? I'm pretty gosh damn amazing, because you are. Look, if you think about everything that your body does every day, that you don't even think about, the way your eyesight works, the way you breathe, the way you eat, everything. You're pretty freaking amazing. The human body is a wildly powerful, incredibly intricate machine, and you get to power that. That is pretty gosh damn cool. Get a gratitude journal. Don't overthink it. Just get a little notebook. Keep it either, I don't know, maybe you want it on your desk. I like to keep journals. Well, I have journals all over. I'm a journal freak. But keep a gratitude journal. Just write down 2 or 3 things every single day that you're grateful for. And when my friend Jennifer and I started ending our conversations with 3 things that we were grateful for, there were a lot of days. I was not the person then that I am. This was several years ago. I was not nearly as positive as I am now. And sometimes my 3 things were: I have a roof over my head, I have running water, and have electricity. Now, those might sound small, but you know what? They're not small. They're huge. Those 3 things, those put you ahead of millions of people on this planet. We take that stuff for granted. You shouldn't. Be grateful. Sorry, I should have put my phone on do not disturb. Be grateful. Look, if all at the end of the month, if all your gratitude journal is 30 days of I have electricity, I have running water, I have a roof over my head, I'll bet you're still going to be in a much better mindset than you were at the beginning of it. And finally, step 5, share your positivity. Be nice. Kindness doesn't cost you a gosh damn thing, so don't be so stingy with it. Follow the golden rule. Follow the golden rule even to people who are not nice to you. You know why? Because crappy people, and there are some people out there who are just crappy, but you know what? They're crappy because they're hurt. What's the saying? Hurt people hurt people. It's true. So the people who are difficult for you to deal with, they need your kindness. I'm not saying you got to kiss their ass. I'm not telling you that at all. That's certainly not it. But have a little empathy. I mean, really, think how crappy it would be to go through life so miserable that you're trying to tear everybody around you down. That's a pretty crappy way to live. I don't want to live that way. So have a little empathy. Compliment strangers. That's one of my best go-tos for cheering myself up when I'm having a rough day. It's got to be sincere, because people know when you're full of shit. Don't lie to people. But years ago, I was at a conference in Las Vegas, and some friends and I were walking through a mall. And it was really funny because I was the only really super small town girl there. And we're walking through the mall, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I love that dress. You look amazing. Oh, excuse me, ma'am. Those are beautiful shoes. Where'd you get those? Oh, hey, excuse me. That's a great haircut. That looks fantastic on you. And finally, my friend from Baltimore just spun me around, and he actually said, who the hell is this nice? And I shrugged. I was like, dude, I am. You know, it was really cool. When he got back to Baltimore, he sent me a note. I still have it. It's in my evidence file. He sent me a note that said, I made such an influence on him, and he was so impressed with that he was going to start doing that with people. I need to follow up with him and see if he ever did that. But compliment strangers. It's so fun to see their report because nobody did it. Offer to help. I mean, if you're not in a position, or don't offer to help if it's just a burden and you don't want to do it, but somebody's having a hard time, offer to help. Be kind. And finally, say, we all like to be acknowledged. And you know what? Just a simple thank you, such a long way towards building relationships and respect with other people. I'm going to go out to dinner because it is my birthday, and I hope you'll have a great night. If you have any questions, drop me a line on Twitter, although I'm kind of hard to get on Twitter right now, to be honest, because I had to lock my account. Story. But I did find out today that because people were sending me a line, even though my account's locked. So, media, you're going to find me. Judge away. I'm well aware of how that sounds. But look, if I can not the most negative, but from being such a negative, nasty person, I'm so well known for having a positive attitude. Office women that I didn't even know very well would find their way to my desk, and I've had more than one woman sit down. Look, I'm really having a tough day, and I know if I come down here that you're going to have something positive to say to me. You know what? I like being that person. That's my way of serving. Anyway, you have any questions, drop me a line. Have a great evening, and I will be back Wednesday. I had to think about it. Wednesday at 5 o'clock Alaska time. Y'all take care. Bye.